KPRC Local 2, proud to cover Houston on Pinterest.
Live from KPRC, this is Local 2 News.
All morning long, we've been keeping a close eye on the radar. Rain has been falling off and on, creating problems on the roads.
Oh, yes. Those problems include an 18-wheeler crash, which shut down a big section of I-10 on the east side in both directions. Also, a deadly crash on I-45 in Willis involving a FedEx truck.
And Texans fans have been anxiously waiting for this day. The NFL Draft finally takes place tonight in New York City. From the fans to the teams, we have got you covered.
It's going to be so exciting.
It is.
Cannot wait.
Good morning. I'm Andy Cerota.
And I'm Jennifer Reyna. Of course, we begin with the latest on our weather.
Yeah, that's right. We could see some heavier downpours later on this afternoon. Let's get right over to Canberra Marshall.
And we're starting to see some heavier downpours in the areas to our north and west. Right now, in the general main part of the Houston area, light showers for the most part. Lightning going on up here in the College Station, Huntsville area as well. We'll put the exact track radar into motion for you. Notice the trend has been all from the southwest to the northeast, the general trend throughout. You notice these storms building up and then continuing to move. Also seeing some storms, some isolated storms right there, some isolated cells, if you will. Take a little closer shot and you can see what we're talking about here. Step back in Huntsville, College Station delineated here. When you see yellows and reds, that means it's heavy and moderate for sure. Throughout much of the area, we're in the light rain category, but the areas to our north, we've got lightning here as well. We've got about 1/10 of an inch of rain has fallen in the last hour and a half or so. So be advised as you're heading in that direction. Down in the southern part, just south of Interstate 10, light rain for the most part for everybody here. So as we look forward, we see outside, we see clear, cloudy skies for sure, 76 degrees with those winds out of the south-southeast at 16 miles an hour. That's going to continue throughout the day. We'll start to see that continue as we see the rain continue. We don't expect that to go away anywhere. As far as our temperatures are concerned, 76, 78, 76, we'll get only to the low 80s today, and the wind speeds will continue to gust and be out of the southeast 17, 16 miles an hour. As far as the hour-by-hour forecast for this day, eking up, barely getting up to 82 degrees, and that's really not a sure thing, but we will be seeing rain throughout, sometimes heavy, some lightning as well. Don't expect severe for us. That's going to be areas to our north, but there is a chance for an isolated thunderstorm, so be advised. We'll have your full 7-day forecast and look ahead to your weekend just a bit.
Canberra, we'll see you then. Thanks a lot. Now to a traffic alert. It has been a messy commute this morning.
It was pretty terrible. Several accidents were reported around town. First of all, we had an 18-wheeler crash in East Harris County, created big problems for the commute this morning, shutting down I-10 in both directions out past the Beltway. And then in Willis, several vehicles, including a FedEx truck, were involved in a deadly crash. Courtney Gilmore is checking our roads now. What's the latest, Courtney?
Well, Jennifer, you're right. Two major hot spots this morning that had traffic tied up on the north side of town and the east. First, the north side, 45, the North Freeway. This was inbound right here at 7 Coves, just north of Conroe. We do have earlier video that we were out there and we shot. Now, I'm told that an 18-wheeler was involved in several cars, including that FedEx truck you see right there that rolled over into the side portion of the freeway there. Investigators were on the scene trying to determine the cause of this accident for hours. We were told that this did involve a fatality, so it was shut down. All of those lanes southbound for hours. Traffic was diverted off to the feeder lane, so it really backed up the morning commute. Right now, everything is clear. We'll head back to the map, and I want to get you guys the latest details on this I-10 closure that we had all morning involving this 18-wheeler. It was westbound at Cedar Lane. You can see Gianna Caserta was out there on the scene, and she is still out there. That's our live truck right there. I-10 at Cedar Lane. This is all courtesy of Houston Transtar. The roads have been reopened, and let's take a look at some of the backup, because I was seeing a little bit of outbound backup, but everything is free and clear, and traffic is moving at posted speeds there on I-10. Back to you guys.
Well, you were certainly right, Courtney. Thanks a lot. At 4:30, even before that hour, we had massive amounts of backup on the east side of town. So we're going to head back to Gianna Caserta on more about what drivers are facing for this morning. What's the latest there about the details on this crash, Gianna, over on the east side of town?
Well, Jennifer, the last inbound lane just reopened, but that fiery crash, as you can see, well, it left its mark. Snarled traffic was all you could see for miles this morning after a fiery crash shut down I-10's main lanes for hours.
I heard on the news this morning that there was an overturned 18-wheeler and that they spilled chemicals all over the road.
Ashley Trader says her commute time was almost 10 times what it usually is due to the backup.
Normally from my house to here it takes me 5 minutes, and it took me 45 minutes.
Around 3:30 this morning, Harris County deputies say an 18-wheeler traveling inbound on the East Freeway hit the guardrail and then a light pole before bursting into flames. The driver managed to escape unharmed. Debris and oil covered both sides of the freeway near the Cedar Lane exit. Deputies were forced to shut down all the inbound and outbound lanes. Hazmat spent hours cleaning up the oil spill, and thankfully no one was injured. Miguel Diaz is heading back home after missing his flight this morning because he was stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic.
We left like 4:30 in the morning, but the flight was at 7 and just missed it. Got stuck like 1 hour in traffic.
Investigators still don't know what caused the driver of that 18-wheeler to lose control. For now, we're live in Northeast Harris County. I'm Gianna Caserta, KPRC Local 2.
Gianna, thank you. And with that mess, we're told the concrete barrier and light pole will need repairs.
It's decision day for Houston Texans fans. We are less than 8 hours away from the NFL draft, and the Texans get their first pick. We've got team coverage with Local 2's Nick Giovanni in New York City for the draft, and Mark Boyle is in the Galleria area covering fans right here in Houston. We begin with Nick.
Yeah, Andy, it is about that time, the day when NFL dreams become a reality. And this was actually a day that started with a reminder for some of the top prospects to whom much is given, much is expected. A point that was driven home with a pit stop at Mount Sinai Hospital, the children's wing of the hospital, early this morning as their first stop. All the faces of the draft showed their faces here, from Jadeveon Clowney to Johnny Manziel to Sammy Watkins. All of them sat down with the kids to sneak in a little pre-draft pool and or air hockey, just having some fun, lighthearted move there before getting down to business at Radio City Music Hall. Earlier in the day, Manziel actually got down to business talking about some of the skepticism about him being a backyard quarterback.
I see that there's room for me to improve, but to say that I'm just a backyard football quarterback or anything like that, I don't think you do what I did in college and do some of those things just doing that. So I don't think that's extremely fair.
All right, so that's what Johnny had to say about that. We'll see where he ends up falling tonight in the draft. The players are just wrapping up inside the hospital as we speak. Their next stop, Radio City Music Hall, and we'll be following them throughout the day. And we'll actually bring in Chester Pitts for our coverage. He joins us this afternoon at 5 o'clock. For now, we're live in Central Park. Nick Giovanni, Local 2 Sports.
Nick, thanks a lot. The anticipation's certainly building right now.
Oh, it's big time.
Our team coverage continues now with Local 2's Mark Boyle.
Yeah, he joins us live outside of Sports Talk 790, where people have been calling into the radio station all morning long. Mark, lots of people commenting on this.
As you can imagine, those phone lines are burning up. We were just upstairs, and literally they have been on the air here at Sports Talk 790 all morning. But, you know, the other story is going to be all of these tailgaters. I'm basically on party patrol today. Take a look at your screen. Here's some video. We saw a lot of folks yesterday and today really preparing for the draft later tonight. One man we met has a giant bus that's decked out in Texans gear and stickers. He's got 4 big flat screen TVs on the side. He has beer taps as well. We also met another man up in Cypress off of 290 near the Outlet Mall. He's basically turned his outdoor garage into a massive bar, and so he's expecting a lot of folks over there. A lot of his neighbors are going to come over and watch the draft. We spoke with one of those neighbors who's going to be there later tonight.
As long as you have something on, you can come. It doesn't matter. It's just relaxed. It's all about family. It's open invitation.
Now, the big party later today is going to be at Reliant. We spoke with officials there with the Texans, and Reliant is expecting 10,000 fans to show up and tailgate when the gates open around 4 o'clock this afternoon. This is a sold-out event, however, I'm told. And then once the gates open, they'll go inside, they'll start that tailgating, and then go inside and watch all of this draft excitement. There's so much excitement, so much speculation about what's next. We're going to, after this live shot, go over the Texans Grill, go around, like I said, I'm out of the suit today in a Texans polo party patrol. We'll have much more coverage for you later tonight on KPRC Local 2 beginning at 4. From reporting live at the Galleria, Mark Boyle, KPRC Local 2.
Such a hard assignment, Mark. All right. While he gets to that, remember, join us for our countdown to the draft special. Live reports from Houston and New York right here on KPRC Local 2 at 6:30 this evening.
All right, well, it's a movement that is gaining ground. We're talking about Bring Back Our Girls.
Coming up, the growing outcry over the kidnapping of hundreds of Nigerian schoolgirls. We'll have more on the hesitations and offers of international assistance.
Plus, caught on camera, a driver plows through a crowd after a deadly shooting in a Southeast Houston apartment building.
And next, the controversy involving poor care for veterans at the VA hospital in Phoenix.